Hello guys! Today I'm gonna open and try my new set of autumn colored Posca pens. Most of the markers are already open, but they came like this and the tips are white, you will see it in a second, so they are unused. Um, let's make some swatches. The start isn't that promising. First color beige is kind of transparent and it scratches the paper. And the second one feels the same as the first one, but thankfully the bright yellow third one feels much better. It's bright and creamy and liquidy and opaque, and dark red is a really pretty color of blood and it's spreading really well. Next color, fuchsia, is incredibly bright. Look at this. Look at this. Whoa! It's okay, you can't see it here on the camera, but it is like bold and color and bright. Red wine color is my favorite one. I'm in love. It's pretty and creamy and bold, and dark brown is also very nice. The last color called khaki green, and it's good and dark and like perfect. So at the start I was a little disappointed, but overall the markers are really nice and pretty. I decided to draw a little townscape of a town where I live now, the town of Leiden. It's in the Netherlands. There are so many different shades and interesting detail in this picture, and also nice variety of tones, so I can use pretty narrow nibs of the markers and almost all the colors of the set, which is very nice for a first try. It will let me know a lot of this set. So at the beginning, let me tell you a bit of a town in the picture. Leiden is a very cozy town between Amsterdam and The Hague. It's not big at all, but because of the really big Leiden University, it's very vivid and full of young and active people from all over the world. It's also really old and picturesque Dutch town full of beautiful corners and historical heritage. And it's only half an hour from an Amsterdam, or 15 minutes from Amsterdam airport. So really worth visiting. Okay, back to my sketch. It's a view on a church that I probably can't pronounce the right way, so I won't. I'm sorry, I'm not Dutch. This is one of the biggest Gothic churches in Leiden, in its view from the Burcht van Leiden, which is the place where the town was founded centuries ago. Okay, back to the drawing process. I tried to start the drawing with the big evenly painted shapes as I saw everyone on the internet did with the Posca pens, but I realized very fast that I have a nib too narrow and the patience too little for this task. So I moved on to this kind of messy textures, and I liked it a lot. It's nice and fun. And what's more, with this kind of messy texture, I could make bigger variety of tones, because to be honest, I hadn't enough in the set. So this is my first conclusion. You really have to plan your picture ahead, or have more markers than a set of 8 colors. My picture should have been simplified and stylized much more than it was to draw it comfortably. The selection of tones wasn't quite enough for what I wanted, and I was struggling with the amount of tones I had. It wasn't bad. The selection of tones is quite wide. But if you tend to go a little too realistic like I do, think twice. So, the amount of tones is very good for a very stylized illustration and not enough for more realistic one. This is the conclusion. Second conclusion, I love the colors. They are fantastic. I knew I would because Posca pens are famous for their colors, but gosh, they are good. They are incredible. Every color is amazing, but all of them together creates a magical combination. I'm in love with the warm earthy greens and oranges and this opposite bold beautiful cold fuchsia. Adore it. Perfect. Very good. What I didn't like that much is kind of quality unevenness. I mean, the lightest marker was really transparent, which I wasn't expect, and it laid down not so pleasantly. I was a little disappointed about it. Your lightest shade. You want your lightest shade to be bold and opaque when you work with some non-transparent material, so this was sad. But all other markers were really pleasant to work with. And I told you before that markers' nips were really narrow, and it's true. My illustration wasn't too big, but it was a little too boring for me to cover it all using these narrow markers. Well, it was totally possible, but too much work for my liking. I would prefer to use bigger nips. Maybe I should try bigger sized Posca pen next time. Next time. I might admit, though, that the narrow tips of these Posca pens are very good for some line work. I tried them later on a bigger acrylic painting on canvas for some lines and detail, and it went perfectly. Loved it. So you can see now, almost see my end result, and I liked it a lot. Overall, these markers are wonderful and really easy to draw with. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Stay tuned.